From a very young age, it's all I wanted to do. I'm not sure back at a young age that I ever thought I'd be going milking cows. Certainly not with robots. But yeah, I just wanted to be out. Back then, all I wanted to do was be on the tractor. My name's Edward Brown. I'm 48, and we farm at Muffworthy Farm near Great Torrington. We've got about 135, 140 in the herd, milking about 110, 230 acres, roughly. All grass. I actually grew up on a sheep farm, and I was only 2 years old when we moved there, and I lived there for 20 years, just over. And at the time, my father and my uncle were farming together with Grandad. And my uncle, he was in charge of the cows, and my dad was in charge of the sheep. And as years went by, we managed to buy the farm where we're currently at now, Muffworthy, and a few years later set up a small milking herd in there, and that's when I started milking when I was at age 22 then. And from then we gradually built up the dairy herd and cut back on the sheep numbers, and we eventually, after so many years, gave up the sheep altogether. So we had some ground about 2-3 miles away. We sold that to be able to buy the farm right next door to us, and went from there really. I'm the third generation here. I started off milking in a 6 abreast parlour. I milked in that for 5 years, and then we put in a 1020 auto ID herringbone parlour, and we're now in process of putting in 2 Lely robots. The acreage has stayed roughly the same really. The cow numbers have increased slightly. Our herd, it's a low yielding herd, but we will be looking to push yields now more so with the robots, which we'll hopefully soon have up and running. We currently graze our cows sort of 6 months of the year, and we're hoping to carry on grazing with the robots. All year round calving. They're grass fed silage and cake in the parlour currently. We made the decision to go robots with robot milking. It took us probably the best part of 3 years is when we started thinking about it. Staff is always an issue, staff to get into the industry. Also, my father's getting older, and it would be nice for him to cut back a bit. Whether he will or no, I don't know. I don't think there's a member of staff that could replace my father. It's like my father said. He said he wants to be able to do what he wants when he wants, and so we should really. With the robots going in, hopefully it will be better health-wise for the cows. They'll be more relaxed. They won't be stood around. I'm sure it will be the right move. A very expensive move. Probably the biggest project I think we've ever done, in terms of cost-wise. Very scary. Going into something that we don't really know about, but we are going to learn and give it our best shot. People tend to ask me, well, what are you going to do with yourself? But I don't think I'll have any more free time. I think I'll be working just as much, but I'll hopefully getting more out of it. Growing up in the 1980s, it was fun back then. Personally, then you didn't take anything seriously. but love to be doing stuff on the farm all the time. Any moment I had, mornings before I went to school, if there's any jobs to do, I would do it. And as soon as I get home from school, I was in, changed, out the door again, always wanting to be doing something. Although every day's a challenge, you do get the odd days it's rewarding. And I think that's what makes it worthwhile. Yes, it's long days, long hours, but it's being out in the open. I do enjoy working on my own, which is good because, you know, it can be a lonely thing. With farming, any type of farming, you've got to really love and enjoy what you do. With the way technology's gone, yes, I suppose it is, with the likes of robots then, it is taking over what members of staff would have been doing. But unfortunately, you know, there is a shortage of people wanting to come into this line of work. Yes, we do need to move with the times. It's quite frightening to know how, you know, how things will keep changing. I think the hardest thing with farming now is all the paperwork, in all the inspections and the red tape we're told that we've got to go by. That's the worst part of it. Going back in the 80s, there wasn't, you know, nothing like what it is now, and I think it's to do with a lot of the red tape and the paperwork is what's driving a lot of people out of the industry. They've just had enough of it. The direction for farming, I would like to see it keep going. There'll always be people farming. Hopefully I'll be one of them. You know, if we were getting decent prices for, you know, what we were producing, it wouldn't be a problem. It's because, you know, it's because of the prices being so low, anything to buy is so expensive. That's what makes it difficult. That's why we've relied on subsidies. I can understand why people are, you know, going down various scheme routes, and because if the money's there to be taken, then why not? But you know, it's not proper farming. Going back into 2015, prices plummeted. That was probably the toughest year from then for a few years. Quite worrying that was. We try to be as efficient, most efficient as we can all the time. But you know, when the prices are really low, you've got to be extra careful and efficient. But you've still got to keep putting the work in. If you love what you do, you're halfway there, and you just naturally stick at it, and you tend to try and work even harder. The biggest influence to me would be my father. If ever I wanted to know anything, he was there to tell me, show me. Some things he'd have to tell me and show me quite a few times. Some things I could pick up straight away. To have somebody lead you, guide you, yeah, it's very important. And fortunately, that's what I've had and still got. And it makes it a lot easier. With the robots, this time next year, I'd like to think that we'll be producing more milk more efficiently. It'll be better for cows health-wise and more relaxed, not feeling quite so pressured. After you've had a long winter, and then when spring comes and things start growing and you can get out on the land, that's the best, out and about in the fields really. springtime when you can get out and you can start cutting grass for silage, that's always a nice feeling. Probably my favourite place would be in my big tractor, out in the field or out on the road. When I started driving the tractor, it was Massey Ferguson 35 or Massey Ferguson 165, but now it's the electronics and the technology on the tractor alone is unbelievable, really. To the general public, if they don't understand farming, the best thing they could do would be to visit farms to see what actually goes on. Let them see the work that's involved, and see where their good quality food is coming from. I think schools could and should teach more about where their food comes from. More and more in recent years, there has been open days on farms, which I think is a good thing for the public to come and see what goes on. And I mean, that's only a small percentage what the public see then. It's not just a one-day thing. It is 24/7 farming. It doesn't stop. When the government make various decisions, no, I don't think they do realise. I think they're in their office thinking, well, what can we drum up now? No, they're again, like the public, they need to be out on farm to see what actually goes on and how things are farmed. Going back over the years, our biggest achievement, what sticks to mind is with the robots currently going in. Being in a position to be able to do that, that certainly feels like the biggest project.